The senator from Utah.
Madam President, I rise to speak about the pension reform legislation I am introducing today. I'm taking this step for a simple reason. America cannot keep sleepwalking into the financial disaster that awaits us if we do not get the public pension debt crisis under control. The bill I introduced today is called the Secure Annuities for Employment Retirement Act of 2013, the SAFE Retirement Act for short. In addition to public pension underfunding, the SAFE Retirement Act addresses two other critically important aspects of retirement policy: 401k plan coverage and access to professional investment advice for workers and retirees. I will briefly address each part in turn. I've been working on the public pension underfunding problem, which I call the pension debt crisis, for some time. 2 years ago, I stood before this Senate and described the financial challenge public pension plans pose to Americans. I described how the gap between the pensions that have been promised to workers by state and local governments and the money set aside was as much as $4.4 trillion short, by some estimates, more than the total amount of municipal bond debt nationwide. I explained that the problem of public pension underfunding existed before the 2008 recession, and any attempt to lay blame for the problem at the feet of Wall Street or big business or some other group was just plain blame shifting. I observed how the business world long ago recognized that traditional pension plans, defined benefit plans, had become unsustainable for most private companies, and that most had moved toward 401k style plans or defined contribution plans because costs are lower and more predictable. And they fit well within an increasingly mobile and dynamic workforce. As usual, governments have been slow to innovate, slow to adapt, and when they have acted, their actions have been too limited to solve the problem. I said at the time that I had not settled on the best solution, but that I was working hard and talking to the experts about the best way to proceed, and that is what we did. Last year, after extensive study, I delivered a report about the public pension debt problem titled, quote, "State and Local Government Defined Benefit Plans, the Pension Debt Crisis That Threatens America," unquote. The study showed that public pension underfunding is a long-standing problem and that the current pension debt crisis goes back more than a decade, if not further. The report explained why public pension debt is a federal concern, reviewed previous federal attempts at legislation, and more recent state legislative measures focused almost exclusively on new employees, and the attempt by the Government Accounting Standards Board to restore a level of discipline to public pension accounting. At the end of the report, I laid out 4 essential goals for public pension reform. First, public pension plans must be affordable for public employers and taxpayers. Second, plans must be structured so that taxpayers in the future have no liability for past years of employee service. Third, public plans should provide retirement income security for employees. And finally, fourth, a federal bailout of the states must be avoided at all costs. As you will see, I listened to people on all sides of the public pension debate, including employee groups that want public plans to provide lifetime income. I could have merely recommended that state and local governments move to a 401k style plan, but I settled instead on a policy of trying to achieve retirement income security as well. Madam President, despite numerous legislative initiatives enacted at the state and local level, the public pension debt crisis has gotten worse, not better. In my report, I warned that examples like Pritchard, Alabama, Vallejo, California, and Central Falls, Rhode Island were only the beginning. Sadly, I was right. Since that time, we have witnessed the pension debt crisis descend on much larger cities like San Jose, California, Stockton, California, San Bernardino, California, and Detroit, Michigan. Does anyone doubt that a state could be next? How many times does the credit rating of Illinois have to be downgraded before we act? How long can Rhode Island hold out when it is expected to save its struggling cities while it struggles with its own state pension crisis? The problem is getting more serious every day, and the 4 goals I have outlined in my report cannot be reached merely by fine-tuning the existing pension structures available to public employers. A new public pension design is needed, one that provides cost certainty for state and local taxpayers, retirement income security for state and local employees, and does not include an explicit or implicit government guarantee. I'm pleased to say that I believe I have designed such a plan. Title I of the Safe Retirement Plan Act creates a new pension plan called an Annuity Accumulation Retirement Plan. I call it the Safe Retirement Plan. The concept of the Safe Retirement Plan is simple. Take advantage of the lifetime income that fixed annuities can provide while mitigating the volatile effect of interest rates on pension levels by purchasing an annuity contract for each worker every year during their career so that a worker builds a solid pension year on year or year by year during their entire working life. With a safe retirement plan, employees receive a secure pension of retirement for life that is 100% vested, fully portable, and cannot be underfunded. Employers and taxpayers receive stable, predictable, and affordable pension costs. Underfunding is not possible. The life insurance industry pays the pensions and bears all of the investment risk. And unlike current public pension plans, the Safe Retirement Plan will be protected by a robust and multifaceted state insurance regulatory system built to ensure financial strength and solvency, and backed up by a state law-based consumer safety net. Rather than impairing their pension plans, states that adopt the Safe Retirement Plan will be upgrading their pension plans. Remember, there is no pension benefit guarantee corporation backing up state and local pension plans, and there never will be. Corporations that sponsor pension plans pay premiums to the PBGC, and their workers and retirees receive a level of insurance in the event the plan does not have assets sufficient to pay promised benefits. State and local workers enjoy no such protection, so another solution is needed. The Safe Retirement Plan, in my opinion, is the answer. It is supported by a well-regulated, highly solvent state insurance system and has a built-in financial backstop that doesn't rely on state or federal taxes. Honestly, regardless of which side of the debate you've been on to date, you must acknowledge that from a solvency perspective, this is a big improvement over the current public pension systems. Now, I know that some will argue that my bill will give too much new business to the life insurance industry. Well, that's not how I look at it. The way I see it, my bill takes advantage of the life insurance industry to help Americans solve a serious pension program. After all, the life insurance industry is the only industry in the world designed from the ground up to manage longevity risk. Annuity contracts purchased through a safe retirement plan will be competitively bid upon on a group contract basis so that the workers receive the highest possible pension in retirement. Government finance officers will be involved in the bidding process to ensure best practices, and life insurance companies will be supervised by their respective state insurance departments. The life insurance industry is reliably solvent because state insurance regulations are strict, with stringent reserve requirements and conservative investment standards. In fact, state-licensed life insurance carriers survived the 2008 stock market meltdown in far better condition than any other part of the financial sector. Madam President, the status quo is no longer acceptable. In fact, maintaining the status quo comes with a very high cost. In 2011, S&P downgraded the United States in part because of the enormous debt represented by underfunded state and local pension plans. The credit rating agencies have downgraded Illinois multiple times, and Moody's has begun scrutinizing state and local pension obligations more closely. What will happen when the credit rating agencies see that most state and local governments have no serious plan to address the crisis. A pension is insurance against outliving the money you have available to pay your monthly bills. It cannot be denied that people are living longer. And as wonderful as that is, it also means we need to find new ways to stretch our monthly pension dollars over longer lifetimes. The Safe Retirement Plan can meet the test. As I close, Madam President, I also want to place in the record copies of the many letters of support I've received for the Safe Retirement Act of 2013, if I can.
Is there objection? Without objection.
The letters come from businesses and organizations representing employers, life insurance companies, state insurance commissioners, state guarantee associations, and tax policy groups. These letters demonstrate that the Safe Retirement Act is good policy and will make good law. America's retirement system deserves no less, and I want to thank you, Madam President, and also my colleague on the other side. I yield the floor.